All right. Another week. Another Centre Circle podcast. How you doing, Keith? You all right, bro?
I'm not too bad at all. How you doing?
Yeah, well, I'm all right, innit? I'm all right now. It would be very different if Arsenal didn't do their job.
I guess you're the bit stressful about 5:15 half time.
No. You know me, I don't get stressed in it. Either way, I still want the same outcome. I still want him gone. But, no, I'm joking. To be honest, nothing they can do surprise me now. Like, if we ended up stuttering and drawing and all of that stuff, I wouldn't be surprised. And for all of you that haven't seen it, by the time you hear this, Arsenal beat Spurs 4-1 at what's the stadium called? Is it just a Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
That's it.
Oh yeah, there's no sponsorship yet, is there?
No, not yet.
There's no Flygo or Flybe Stadium at Spurs. So yeah, convincing 4-1 win. Arsenal made it more difficult than they needed to. Eze showed up again, 2 goals. Lots of debate about what else he did in the match, but 2 goals.
Sure, you should be saying that after the backlash you got last time after his hat-trick.
Yeah, but I got proved right. People started to see the light. But fair play to him. 2 moments where he needed to be composed, and he was. My hot take on Eze is that he's a modern day luxury player. In the sense that as much as we've got players that will work hard and press and etc., the one thing that myself and other fans have been calling for some time is someone who scores the right goals or scores the quote-unquote clutch goals. So...
and I guess with him, you haven't really seen what he can do fully at Arsenal because he was taken out the firing line for so long. So before today, his last goals were against Tottenham at the Emirates. And for whatever reason, we've been told it's because of work rate. He wasn't in the team, etc.
Yeah, I think he's had a fair crack at the whip. Yeah.
But there was like 3 or 4 games where he didn't get any minutes. And you got over the line, but it would have been good just to see what he could do in those games. Give him a run. Can he be that guy? See where Odegaard's been given chance after. Granted, he's your captain, but always hasn't put the performances on the pitch. It would have been good if Eze had that time.
But I don't think he's earned it. Honestly, I don't think he's earned that trust. I don't think in the performances we've seen, he's shown yet that he is that person. I mean, you could argue he was put in the starting lineup for the North London derby. It doesn't get much more important than that. Man City won yesterday, 2 points behind you. You're not trying to carry anybody. So Arteta would turn around and say, well, look, guys, not being funny. Before he came here, he played for a club basically where he played once a week, right? I think I saw something, I think he said about early December. I was like, guys, he's already played more minutes for us than he had done last season or season before. So there's that element of things. But I also just think he wasn't, I've criticized him a few times on that. I'm just not sure in the role as a 10 in our team, he does enough without the ball. And even when he has got the ball, he's not always, and then he showed glimpses in the last couple of games he's played. We've played some of those direct passes, straight through the lines to Gyökeres or to whoever is attacking the line, which is what we scream at Odegaard for not doing. Not doing another pirouette, not doing another 180. So that's what we want to see more of him. So yeah, I think I give him a bit of grace. It's a big jump from Crystal Palace and what they were doing to Arsenal and what they're doing. And I think, full pre-season, etc. So has he set this season on light for what he cost? And, Eze is the one guy I've not seen anybody, well, I haven't seen for a long time, someone who everyone wants to do well. I've seen fans of other teams, they want Eze to do well. And that never happens for Arsenal. The Premier League's so tribal now, that doesn't happen for anybody, yeah? So it's not even a hating thing. Everybody wants Eze to do well, no matter who you support. Maybe not Tottenham fans, but I even know Tottenham fans are like, they want him to do well. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
When he signed, I was like, I hope he does well, but Arsenal don't.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone said that.
Kind of thing.
But look, overall, I think it's a statement win. These are the kind of games that people felt in previous years. Arsenal bottled it a little bit. I think the title race is a lot closer than it should be. The draw against Wolves was, I think someone described it as leaving the door ajar. It was just unnecessary. The game against Brentford again. So these are opportunities where you've let City get close. You got a game in hand now, so they've always kind of got the edge. Either way, if we play first, you can't lose or draw. If they play first, you can't lose. Either way, the pressure's on you now. So let's see. I think City will still drop points. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I don't know what you think, but
No, I think both teams will drop points at some point. And I don't want to discredit Arsenal's performance today, especially in the second half, but they were gifted a little bit by Tottenham.
A little bit? Tottenham didn't turn up, bro.
Considering Tottenham going level at half-time, undeserved really and truly, you think, right, just show a bit of grit. North London derby, you're in a relegation scrap, you've got to come out and show something.
You know what? I think they showed too much grit. I think they showed too much grit on football. Like 30 seconds in, Van der Ven's crashing into a tackle near the touchline. Okay, that's great. But that's not what's going to win you this game, because if there's one thing Arteta's made this team is they're relatively physical now, innit? Sometimes too physical. Timber, you could bet your house he's getting the booking in the first 45 minutes in this game. So I think they showed too much grip, bro. I think there was too much crashing about, not enough doing things with the ball. And like you said, a mistake gifted to them. Before that, Arsenal had it relatively easy, but they weren't taking their chances, But I think the guy we got to talk about today is Victor Gyökeres, mate. He came alive.
He did, and this is what a lot of Arsenal fans have wanted to see from him since he joined. And I think he's had glimpses of this here and there, 10, 20 minutes in certain games. But throughout the whole match, he was being a nuisance. He was, even for I think it was the second Eze goal, or the first one, he just got that little touch to flick on.
Yeah. He's getting involved. Yeah.
And you want that. He was just a presence, getting the shots off early. Could have scored early in the first half. And that's what you want. You want to see your striker being the focal point. And that hasn't happened enough. And if that can continue, Arsenal will be...
It's funny though. This is what I'll say in the group earlier. This is what I love about the game, man. The difference confidence can make, because I don't know. I've seen him that shot for his first goal. I've seen him try shots like that, and it's going near the corner flag. But he said, "Nah, today I'm shooting." He just seemed to have a little bit of, I don't know whether it's because it was his first North London derby, and that's the kind of game that gets him up. I know the derbies in Portugal are feisty, so he gets what it means. I don't know, but whatever it was, he turned up today. I do think he lost a physical battle though. His goal should not cloud that. Whenever he came up, Van der Ven or Dragosin, they were having him up, right? If it's not Archie Gray that's trying to lean on him for that second goal, he doesn't score that. Because the rest of the game, they were having him up. But he gave Archie Gray the left forearm, and it was a crisp finish. So, yeah, look, I'm happy for him. Hopefully that gives him a little bit of oomph going into the rest of the title race. But it's too close for me, to be honest. And if we look at City's fixtures, I'm just trying to...
They've got the harder run in.
You think so?
I think they still got to play Chelsea.
So they've got look at the next 4 games. Leeds away, Palace at home. That's been postponed. I think that's going to be their game in hand, possibly. Forest at home, West Ham away. These are all teams fighting for stuff, so you could argue relegation points on the line. Chelsea away, us at home, or Arsenal at home. Burnley away, they'll be gone by then. Yeah, okay, fair. I think, Brentford at home, Bournemouth away, Villa at home on the 24th of May. Their last game of the season is Villa at home. And Villa are going to be in and around the Champions League fight, all of that. Do you want to know Arsenal's games? Arsenal's games, I looked at this the other day. Yeah. Again, only my club would mess this up. But if we look at March, we've got Chelsea at home, Brighton away, Everton at home. April is Bournemouth at home, City, obviously away, Newcastle at home, bogey team. And then May is Fulham, West Ham, Burnley, Palace. That is their last 5 games of this season.
It's crazy because...
And West Ham is not going to be cool. West Ham and Palace isn't going to be cool.
If you look at both, take the fixture against each other out.
Yep.
you could say both teams could win all of their fixtures. Could, like, on paper.
Yeah.
But we know that doesn't happen.
No. My only thing for City is the Villa, and they've got both the relegation fighting teams. That's the only thing.
Yeah. And also, as well, we've got to factor in you've got the League Cup final.
Yes.
So I think the winner of that will get not a massive psychological boost, but they will get some kind of boost. So whoever wins that, a little bit in their favour.
Yeah.
And then it depends how deep these teams go in the Champions League. And the thing that's in City's favour is that they've done title run-ins and managed quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals of the Champions League.
Well, they've done a treble. They've won the League Cup and won the league how many times? Yeah.
And Arsenal haven't done that. So that's another factor in terms of, I know you've got a really good squad now, but it's about who you put in, who you trust. Like even yesterday, and I know it's a little bit of an unfair comparison, but O'Reilly, he's had a lot more minutes than Lewis Skelly this season. I know last week in the FA Cup, Lewis Skelly was meant to play in midfield, but Manchester City have got the luxury of get a utility man like him and plug him in midfield and then popping up with two goals.
But I'm glad you brought it up. I think the real difference is the managers had to choose to use him. Arteta has that luxury. He just chooses to use him differently, right? You know, so I think that's a great point. But Arteta is choosing to use his luxuries, so to speak, very, very differently. And I don't want to do too much influence from the outside, but it's almost like I've been there before, been an alien man before. I'm going with what I know and what works, because there's just so many moments. Like today, I'm thinking, why is Zubimendi still on? Let Norgard play. These are the games that you brought him in for, etc. But look, I was asking for Odegaard to sit down for a long time. He's sitting down. Eze is there. You know, he's moved Saka into the 10 the other day. He's trying stuff. So let me not even get too much. But you know, I kind of agree on that. But look, North London derby, for all that is said, they're a 16th place team. Arsenal, if you want to win the league, you got to be dispatching those teams, right?
Correct.
So not going to get too carried away. Tottenham were poor, but they're 16th for a reason. So, you know, I think Forest or West Ham give you a slightly harder game, but it is what it is. So yeah, the title race is well and truly on. Villa are not in it, as far as I'm concerned. They're 5 points behind City, and they're 10 points behind us with a game in hand. But they've got a good, strong Champions League season in them, and then Chelsea are there or thereabouts. We'll see what happens next week. Depends what Chelsea turns up, right? Which Chelsea turns up.
Definitely.
But I guess on to slightly more important things. What's your thoughts been on the? Well, look, we've had the Vinicius Junior issue this week. Unfortunately, the whole racist abuse from players and the crowd is not. Talking about that in itself isn't worth talking about, because it's happened so often. And I know everyone in football gets so upset when it happens, but unfortunately, people are dealing with this every day on the train or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? But I think the real talking point has been about Jose Mourinho's comments after, and then some of the response after as well. So Benfica's response and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, we're hearing all the same stuff, but it's back to business this weekend. I don't know. How do you feel about all of this?
With the Vinicius Junior debacle, I think the reason why it kind of amplified as it did, because I think most people were surprised at Jose Mourinho's response. And I say that because we know he's a bit of a S-house, you know.
Yeah.
He can be that, but he's always...
He loves the game.
Generally been on the right side of history in terms of when things are not favourable, he's come out and supported, etc. So for him to kind of blame Vinicius Junior for being abused by the fans or this Argentinian player, it just kind of sat a bit wrong. And I think that's why a lot of people were surprised that he came out and said it, because he's normally on the right side of history with these things.
Yeah, and look, I'm just going to say it, man. It never surprises me. At the end of the day, I think people say he's on the right side of history. A lot of that is because he's always championed African players. There's the whole narrative I've seen in a few interviews, you know, African players love me, they're my boys, all of this. Bruv, people always show themselves. Like, that's all well and good, but they were a means to an end for you. and I think what he just demonstrated there, yes, he was emotional and all that rubbish, but he just fundamentally doesn't grasp the issue. And I watched it live. First thing you say is, the most important player for this club, Eusebio, was black. So what? What's that got to do with your player saying nonsense? So it's just a fundamental misunderstanding of what's going on. And then in the moment that you want to dismiss or you want to defend what's happening and trying to diffuse it, instead of sympathizing with the person who's the victim, you're now doing that thing that, people that don't suffer from racist abuse like to do. It's the age old, I've got black friends, or, my best mate is black.
Yeah.
It's just lazy and it's stupid. And then he goes on to say, well, it's always Vinny, isn't it? Well, no, actually, Jose, it's not. There's lots of players that get racially abused everywhere all the time, which is the stuff Company was touching on. It's just that he's a high-profile player and he plays for arguably the biggest club in the world.
And he doesn't shy away from it.
Exactly, and he's not a coward. Doesn't shy away from calling it out. It would be so much easier for him not to do that. So people say they're disappointed. I'm not surprised. I never ever. It's just human nature. People that don't suffer from something, they never understand it, and they never really lean into it as much as the people who are suffering from it. So I've been. It's not often that I am actually convinced by a so-called ally, right? And to be fair to Jose Mourinho, he's never come out and said he's an ally. He's just always played as, I don't care what colour you are, you're a good footballer, you come and play, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not surprised, I guess is my point. People are surprised because he's a great manager and he's an important person. He shouldn't say this and he shouldn't say that. Rubbish. Jose Mourinho has said whatever he wanted to say his entire career. So don't be surprised that energy has now brought him here.
Yeah, and I don't expect him to kind of back down or apologise.
Yeah, shocking.
He'll definitely stand by what he said. So, yeah, to echo what you've just kind of mentioned, people who don't suffer it, they will never fully understand it. And it's good when you've got people like Thierry Henry on CBS coming out and saying, well, I've experienced it. I know how Vinny feels in the moment. Vincent Kompany, again, another high profile black person in the game, coming out saying pretty much the same as Henry. And I think he articulated it very well.
It was fantastic, wasn't it?
It was.
Fantastic, yeah.
I don't normally watch Bayern Munich press conferences, but when I saw what it was about, like it was a whole 12-minute clip, I fully locked in. And that's what I like about Kompany. He's always been very articulate in what he's saying, even when he was kind of doing the punditry before he got into the management coaching side. And I don't think him saying that will change much, but it's good that he's highlighting it at a high level to a large
and I just like the
audience.
fact that he just tackled that nonsense about, Eusebio, and he was like, yeah, well, that Eusebio probably wasn't able to say anything. He was probably suffering with racism then. He'll say it like he didn't suffer with it. So look, and I think overall, nothing's going to change because the consequences of it are not great enough. It's as simple as that, right? If the consequences of racially abusing somebody, whether you're a fan or a player, was detrimental enough, people wouldn't do it. It's literally as simple as that. And they don't care enough to make it so. We've seen it from the silly fines and all that kind of stuff. If someone's livelihood was seriously affected by this, or the club was seriously impacted by it, it would die. Now, I'm not saying that you would kill racism, but you're not going to solve a societal problem in a stadium, right? But like a lot of things in society, it comes out through sport. Sexism, homophobia, all of this stuff, it comes out through sport in a place where people are enjoying their so-called safe space and they're in their kind of tribe with all their other people, etc. So yeah, if that guy was going to not play again for the rest of the season or not play again next season, I guarantee you'd think twice before he did that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
If lifetime bans and all this kind of stuff was going to happen for people identified in the crowd, this stuff wouldn't happen. If Benfica knew they were going to get kicked out of that competition, I bet you they'd find the fans quickly.
Yeah, there'd be a solution.
Yeah, or the investigation would conclude very, very swiftly. So, look, everyone can say what they want to say, but until the powers that be care enough to make it as serious as some of the other infringements. Nothing's gonna happen. But yeah, poor from Jose. But if you're surprised, I think that says more about you than it does about Jose. Anyway, back to the football. What you said about this relegation battle, man? Because I wasn't planning on coming here and talking about Tottenham being in it, but now,
Spicy.
I mean, it might be more fun and more unpredictable than the title race.
Yeah, come the end of the season, you always want a bit of jeopardy last game of the season for the title run and the relegation. You know when Sky
No, I
got
don't.
their
I just
little,
want it for the relegation, to be fair. I want to be.
or this season you do.
Yeah, for the last
as
3
it
seasons,
stands
I've wanted it.
and it's moving constantly throughout. Look, you got to take your hats off to Leeds first and foremost, because there was a time, start of January, when Farke's job looked like it was on the line. And I think we mentioned it here at the time. He saw what wasn't working, tweaked it, and now he's got them playing, picking up important points against Liverpool, etc. So I think that's something that managers in the relegation zone, they can't be afraid to change what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because you're down there for a reason.
Yeah, agreed.
So you've got to look at what you're doing, see what's not working, fix it up. So yeah, big up Farke. So I think Leeds are good. Then you look at Nottingham Forest. 4 managers in a season is not good at all. However, they brought in Vita Pereira. They beat Fenerbahce away 3-0 on Thursday. That's not an easy place to go to.
It's not.
They were good for a point today at least against Liverpool. Very unlucky to come away with nothing there. And he's done this before. He done it at Wolves season before last, wasn't it? Kept them up. West Ham.
Yeah, but how do you feel about, like, part of me, as much as Marinakis has done some crazy stuff, right? Part of me wants to see that whole thing succeed, because he came in, he put his money where his mouth is. You know, I don't know the full details of it, but this is not some big hedge fund like Todd Bowley, or he hasn't done the Glazer thing, or
It's him, innit?
It's him and his
Money.
business partners, whatever. And he's put his hand in his pocket. He's bought players. He poached Edu from Arsenal. Like, he's trying it, and I just thought it'd be interesting to see somebody come in and do it almost the old-fashioned owner way. You know, back in the day, you had all these guys who owned these clubs. You know, I forgot the name of the gentleman that owned Blackburn, guy that owned Villa. You know, you just had these owners, the Stoke owner. You just had these owners.
They were proper chairmen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were chairman because they owned the club. So part of me is like, actually, I do want them. It would be good to see them, to see that project kind of flourish. But then the argument is, boy, sometimes relegated coming back is part of the project's life. That's what it is.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's good that he's doing this. But if he had a board around him, maybe his ego might not get in the way. So in terms of going back to Nuno at the start of the season, I think the squad that Nuno assembled was good enough to continue what he done.
Yeah, but I don't think that was an ego thing, though.
Last year.
I don't think that was an ego thing. Because think about it from his point of view. I've just employed somebody that has come from, after City and Liverpool, the best run club. They've proved themselves to be one of the best run clubs in the country, right? Taking themselves from 8th. He got all this stuff. I'm trying to go in that direction in the next 5 to 10 years. I bring him in. Nuno, who's not been anywhere near that level of success in this game, right? He got Forest to a certain level, but pedigree-wise, what am I going to do? Back him over the new guy? I waited 6 months for him to turn up.
It's tough, though, because Nuno done so well. In hindsight, you look and say, well, maybe Nuno should have won. What if they get relegated? Well, Nuno should have won that battle. He's the guy maybe you should have. I understand.
No. So in hindsight, yeah, but I mean, at the time, I'm not necessarily sure. It's just because with Marinakis, it's easy for it to be the ego. When you just look at it, like, plainly,
as a business, it makes sense.
and you know, I don't know what he paid. My man was on garden leave for 4 months. That's a big coup. You've tempted him from Arsenal. He's gonna come and run everything, and then again, you read all the things like the Athletic, etc., and they tell you about how it went down as well. Nuno was moving tasty because he could look. I'm doing things at this club that I've done for a long time.
And all of that, you know?
Brother, you can't back the guy because Famedu, why did I come here? I'm his boss. It's true though. He said he's boss. But it comes to the thing that Isaac shared with us the other day when Gus Poyet was talking. And he was like, look, I'm the manager, but that guy's buying the players and picking the players. But then I'm the one that gets fired if it doesn't work. And it sounds like that was the tension there. But at the time, I kind of, you'd have to go back and say, was bringing in Edu in that way the right thing to do? I think that's where it starts.
Yeah.
Because then you had something that was working and maybe you were just trying to do too much too quickly.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Maybe he expedited getting someone like Edu in too soon. So,
but he was 3 games away from the Champions League. So he would say, well, when was the right time? This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was the right thing, wrong person. I don't know. But you're right. As we stay there today, the fact that they're even 17th, flirting relegation, would say that, yeah, you kind of went wrong. You could argue, well, if you had picked a better manager after Nuno, it's a different thing. Because Ange wasn't the guy. I said it at the time. And I stand by. And he even said himself he shouldn't have taken that job. Not for the same reasons I'm saying he shouldn't have gone there, but he said he shouldn't have taken that job.
Does relegation hurt West Ham or Nottingham Forest more? So let's
West
just
Ham.
say
West Ham.
Burnley and
West Ham. I think it hurts West Ham more. I think Marinakis could walk away, right? He could say, yeah, see you later. But so far, doesn't strike me that, they'll have parachute payments, etc. But I think he'll put more money in.
And he got them up, innit? Remember? He
He got them up.
Cooper.
He'll keep going. He'll fire Edu or give Edu away. He'll keep going, right? And there's an argument to say maybe some of the players they signed lends to the fact that we might have a dip in a season of Championship ball a season or two. So the Omari Hutchinsons and James McAteers, etc., they're decent Prem players, but they'd be top Championship players.
Yeah,
right?
they'd ball out.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's no real scramble for them to stay in the Premier League.
Exactly. Hudson-Odoi, he's come in, he's done well. Would Prem teams want him? Yes. But he would clean up the Championship easily. If I was him, I wouldn't want to go and play there after reigniting my Prem career. But anyway, so I think it hurts West Ham way more. I don't see that level of investment.
I think West Ham don't have the caliber of players that would kind of leave, if that makes sense. So you look at Nottingham Forest, they got relegated. You're looking at losing
Einar,
Anderson. The guy, and Anderson, Gibbs White.
The guy at the back, the Brazilian guy at the back.
Murillo. If West Ham go down, they might lose Wan-Bissaka. Who else is there?
No, but I think it hurts them more because they don't have the people and the strategy and a plan that would kick them back up, is my point. That's why I think it would hurt them more. I can imagine Marinakis, but this guy blew his budget to stay in the Prem. He just seems like a guy that will do what he needs to do
to get back,
to get out of his situation. West Ham are in this situation because they've been meandering for years. They've just been meandering, a bit of this, bit of that. Moyes come back. They've been meandering. So I just think if they went down, it'd be the same. It'd be the same for them. So, excuse me, but I think Spurs being in this situation is absolutely criminal. And look, listen to me good, yeah? If Arsenal win the Premier League and Spurs get relegated, you and Isaac don't even need to come in for 3 weeks. It's cool, I got it.
Solo mic thing.
That might be the best Premier League story in my life.
If they did get relegated
and we won the league. If they get relegated, we don't win the league, it's whatever. Spurs got relegated, haha, cool.
But they'll be the biggest team to ever be relegated.
I agree. I agree. I did ask this question the other day.
Many years.
And I said, it's a point to be made. What's a bigger story? Arsenal bottling the league or Spurs getting relegated? Pick one.
Spurs getting relegated would be the biggest story.
I tell you what, in today's day and age, I'm not sure.
Not to throw shade, but Arsenal bottling it, it's just like, they've done it again kind of thing.
I hear you, but
Tottenham getting relegated is mad.
I think it'll be close. I just think with the money we've spent, the way things are now, AFTV, the whole landscape, talks, I just think Spurs get relegated would be big. But Arsenal bottling the league would be really closer to it than it should be. I think if this was 10 years ago, it was not even close.
No.
Spurs getting relegated would be a madness, and that's it.
Yeah, a fourth, second.
But because of the
Arsenal.
whole story that's built up over the last 3 or 4 years, it would be super, super, super close.
Yeah,
But Spurs, we're getting relegated. Should be the biggest story. Playing in that stadium in the Championship, nah, the banter would be terrific.
A bit like last year, they are lucky that there's worse teams below them, but those teams are starting to pick up points. And Tottenham, I think I said Tottenham still got to play Liverpool.
Listen,
and a couple other big teams. And I did say, let Frank. I think if Frank had lost today, and then got sacked, it would have been like whatever, innit? Starting with a 4-0 loss and a performance that wasn't great.
I don't think it's a free hit for him. It's a free hit for him. You're playing the league. You're playing the best right now, best team in the country. Arsenal been top of the table since when? November, October, or something like that, right? It's a free hit for him. It's a free hit for him. You're unrealistic if you're employing him. The team's in 16th. You're employing him last week Monday
to beat the team.
And yeah, it would have been an amazing start, right? But yeah, Spurs have got Fulham, Palace, Liverpool, Forest. So this is where you start looking at the games they got to win. You got to beat the people around you. They got to take points off Forest, 22nd of March. Liverpool away. I don't know. Crystal Palace, not great, right? So, what magic can he work? And then in April, Sunderland away, because Sunderland at home is no joke. They got Brighton to come to their ground, and then they got Wolves away. I mean, whilst Wolves are basically gone, a lot of players there, they're playing. They're
plucky, innit?
Well, they're playing for a team next season to pick them up, right? They're playing for a team next season to pick them up. They still got Villa away. Oh, mate. Chelsea away. Listen.
They got some big hit. Yeah, they need to pick up.
So their last 4 games are Villa away, Leeds at home, Chelsea away, and Everton at home. Listen.
And you need to factor in Champions League with that as well.
Yeah. All right, listen, man, let me not even... That's the only consolation I'll take. I'll still want Arteta to leave, but if we don't win the league, if Spurs can get relegated, hey, the football gods, please hear me now. What? Hear me now. The second story there is, if Forest get relegated and Nuno stays up, I don't know if there can be Nuno, if I was him, I'd have a party. I would have a party.
Yeah, you like to see those little vindications
happen.
happen.
Yeah, bruv. 100%.
Every now and again in football.
100%. So yeah, let's see, man. But I think unfortunately, Spurs running, mathematically they've got the advantage, but I think Spurs running puts them right in the mix. And if they don't take points off Forest, then big problems.
It's not even just for it. They have to take points in the next game because they've lost their last 2-3 games.
Yeah, but I guess
I understand what you're saying.
Independent of
the importance of it, but I think they're at the stage now where every point counts, no matter who they're playing. So before they get to that Forest game, they still need to they need to keep the distance or make the gap bigger before they get there, so the game has less importance. Because you don't want to go Forest and be like, "Wow, we have to win." Yeah. You don't want to get to that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not there. Yeah, not there. All right, and then your brethren's been talking again, innit?
Who's my brethren?
Glasner, the guy who thinks he doesn't work for anyone that can just say what he likes. So I don't know if you saw his interview. He had a bit of a... it wasn't even a bit. He laid on the sarcasm very thick, and he was like, yeah, I'm not good enough to manage this team. I'm not good enough to make this team to get the best out of these players. So, and he was basically insinuating that he might not stay until the end of the season. So I know fans have had a banner up at games saying they want Glasner out. You called it fan entitlement. Suffice to say, I don't agree, but
so
go off.
The man that won your first ever FA Cup.
There you go.
The man that won the Community Shield for you.
And because of that, he can just do what he likes and say what he likes?
No, not at all. And I think the club and him have to take a little bit of responsibility in terms of how they... So, not the club. He needs to take responsibility in terms
you saw me shape it up.
In terms of him announcing that he was leaving, because obviously the board didn't know about that. But that's settled. That's by the by. But when you're calling for him to be sacked mid-game, I do think it is a bit of fan entitlement. You have every right to be aggrieved at him for the way he's acted, and you can say that he's trying to get sacked. He wants a way out soon. That's fine. But you can't just be like, oh, you have to go now. We finished. Thank you for what you've done, but you have to go. He's got a job to do till the end of the season.
No, but he clearly feels like he doesn't need to. The way he's acting, that's my point. So, I guess it goes both ways. You know, we're a small club, right? We do what we can. I remember saying at the time, bro, you know who you joined. So all this crying about what you didn't buy or couldn't buy, whatever. You joined Crystal Palace. This isn't Man United. This isn't Arsenal. This isn't City. This isn't Spurs. You joined Crystal Palace. You've been in the football game for a long time. You knew what they were dealing with. You knew what the spanners and screwdrivers they had. Yeah? There was no Black & Decker in there.
But that's correct. But he was banking on some of the tools in the toolbox being there, and he's opened them up, and the owner's taken them before he got a chance to use them. So Eze was sold fairly late in the window. Gahey was gone pretty much to Liverpool, and he had to be like, bro, leave me something. You know what I mean? And then come January, granted, if you're going to get 30 mil over nothing in the summer, you take it. But again, it was still a late deal. Didn't really get a chance to.
Yeah, and they tried to buy other players in that. But I guess my point is, he showed a lot of entitlement. Is my point. If anyone has showed entitlement, it's him.
I think he can be bossy. I think when you come in and you're the first person to win a trophy ever, you could be like, hold on, why are you not?
Yeah,
why are you not on my page?
Bruv, let's calm down.
Because you say you know what he was working with. He was working with that before he won a trophy.
Yeah.
Now I've won a trophy.
Yeah, but let's calm down. He didn't win the Champions League, bro. The trophy didn't bring 100 million into the club. He won the FA Cup. What's the FA Cup prize money? 10 million.
Yeah, but he's
50 million. What's the FA Cup prize money?
Revenue that they weren't.
Which
getting.
revenue? How much?
It doesn't matter whatever it is. The Conference League revenue is still additional revenue that they weren't getting before.
I've showed you this before. I swear. I swear winning the Conference League is like it's like 3 million.
League Cup money.
Yeah, it's nonsense,
but
bro.
It's still extra revenue that they can bank on.
But I also think there's a way you go about it, and I think him announcing when he was going to leave, you know, all the shenanigans around that, I can understand the fans of that club feeling like he's basically now acting in his own interests only. So, yeah, okay, he can be as bossy as he wants. He can act the way he wants. Then don't complain when the people who were here long before you are going to be here long after you feel like you're disrespecting their club. It's as simple as that. So they can call for you to be out. I've paid my money to come here. It's no coincidence that with your change of attitude, the performances are also slightly waning, right? So when we won the cup, we held you. Now things are getting bad. It's down to you too.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to be here, leave.
Yeah,
I just think you're not waiting to get fired because you want the money out.
Vocal about it.
Nah,
in my opinion,
because
the reason why you have this entitlement is because he took you to a place of privilege.
No, but I don't even think that they want him to get out because he's not winning them another trophy. They want him to get out because of how he's behaving. I think all the Palace fans, even if you listen to all this stuff, they're relatively sensible. You know, if you lose Eze and you lose Elise and all these people, yeah, they're relatively sensible. Yeah. They know that FA Cup could be it for a hot minute. They're not expecting him to now go and do Champions League or whatever else. Look at Forest. We know how that goes. They're more concerned about the fact that no, you're disrespecting the club now. Allow it. That's the main thing. I don't think anyone's saying you should get out because you're doing rubbish now. Nope. I've not heard any Palace fans say.
Yeah, it's all about rowing in the same direction.
Yeah, but they're just saying, come out because you clearly don't want to be here and you're being disruptive. I should just leave then. Just leave. But just for your information, the prize money for winning the FA Cup is £2 million.
What about the Conference League?
Europa Conference League, I think I checked this. If it's any more than 10 million, I'll be surprised.
That's 10 million's a lot to Crystal Palace.
Yeah, but not a lot to do what he wants to do. UEFA Conference League. I don't even think it's more than 2 or 3 million. I'm trying to find the
breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, granted, it's not a lot of money, but The fans would love it. If he rode out and won the Conference League and then left,
€7 million.
so what's that like? Just over 5 mil, isn't it?
I mean,
But
man.
let's say he wins the Conference League.
Yep.
All those people saying op it, they're gonna be celebrating it.
No,
and lauding him. So I know we're kind of trying to foreshadow what will happen. But let's say he leaves with a FA Cup and a Europa Conference League.
Yeah.
He'll need a statue.
No, but two things can be true. They can celebrate the cup, but they'll just say you didn't have to be an idiot whilst you did it. That's my point. They'll just say you didn't have to be a prick while you were doing it.
To be honest,
so all this
he might be
behaviour
doing
shenanigans in the...
He might be doing it for the future manager, being like, I'm not going to be here. Whoever's coming in next,
I don't think he cares enough.
This is what you're working with.
I don't think he cares enough, bro. Like, and apparently he's got form for this. He's got form for just yapping about the hierarchy and all of that. So
yeah, done the same at Frankfurt.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's fan entitlement. I think they're well within their rights to do so. So yeah. Anyway, let's see. I mean, the heat is on. Arsenal down to 5 points now, but Arsenal have got a game in hand, so it's it's always
for the neutral, it's going to be enjoyable. You can see how I felt a few times when the league has gone down to the wire.
Honestly, bro, because of how I feel about what we should be doing in that, I'm actually perfectly fine. But I think let's see when this Man City game in hand is. Let's see, because if they win every game, which I don't think they will. Okay, let's change it. If they don't lose, so if they, oh no, it's the same. Yeah, if they don't win every game, then that game in hand's going to be irrelevant. But if they carry on just putting points on the board, 3 points, then that game in hand then becomes
crucial,
pretty important, because whenever that is, all else being equal, then the lead is 2 points, and it's then the heat's on. The heat is on. So I almost want them to have wobbled before the game in hand comes, and then there's more pressure on them in that game in hand. So yeah, but yeah, we'll see. Tottenham, don't get relegated. Trust me, you don't want that. Don't want that. Peace.